apple a day keeps the doctor away. What about grapes or a glass of wine? Wine is served at many events, whether it's formal or backyard barbecues. I'm a credible speaker because I have had many types of wine. I've been to many wine tastings. I've attended Peanuts Palette, which is located in Lawrence, Kansas. It is for painting. It's a painting class, and they serve wine. Wine is the center of the event. It helps to relax the painter so that they're able to paint on a blank canvas. I will be informing you all of the history of wine, the process of making it, and how to choose a wine to your liking. Let me begin with my first main point by discussing the history of wine and how it became legendary. Who invented wine? That's an impossible question to answer. Wine was discovered over 9,000 years ago. Archaeologists found remains of pottery that held grapes to create wine. National Geographic published an article in November of 2017 on pottery that had fermented grapes, in which started the creation of wine. They also stumbled upon a tombstone that had an Egyptian in it with a container of fermented grapes. By that time, it was already wine because it was aged. Think back to the Egyptians' time. That's decades and centuries ago. Alcohol is known to be used as a healing agent, and although we now use it for fun, we will never know the main cause for it. Now that I have discussed the history, let's move on to how it is made. My second point is how to perfect wine and what the steps are. You want to gather your equipment. You want to make sure you have clean and sterilized equipment. You need yeast and wine grapes. Wine grapes are not your ordinary store-bought grapes. They are smaller and they are sweeter. Wine grapes originated in Caucasus in the Black Sea near Georgia. Then you would need to make sure you have a container to place your wine into. So once you have your material, you would start with de-stemming them and de-seeding them. You would ferment the grapes, which is a process of the sugar settling and turning into alcohol. And then it turns into wine, and as it is juicing, the grapes are juicing, you would then filter them and fine it. You're doing that so that you can remove the excess debris or seeds that are left in there. Then you would put your wine into a container, and then you would start the aging process. Madeline Puckett created Wine Folly, and that's where I found the recipe and the process on making it. She owns a harvest in which there are tons of fields of grapes. She has machinery to where that can pick the grapes, and she also has a team who's more than willing to help her with making wine. Wine can age from months to years at a time. And so you've probably heard of ancient wine that sits on the shelf. It's like your top shelf wine. And then you hear about one of the normal Moscato wines that you can go and purchase at a normal convenience store. Red and white wine are prepared differently because the red grapes, they leave the peels on the grapes, like the skin, so that the wine is much bolder and more rich in flavor. Now that we've discussed production, let's move on to decision making. Decisions are hard, especially when you can't seem to make up your mind. This last point is finding a wine that you like, for those who are 21 and older. When you're trying new things, this always comes with experience. You may visit a winery or even try new things at a bar with things that are on special. There are many options to choose from. Determining which wine is best for you is simply a matter of taste. Red wine pairs great with steak, one of which is Stella Rose. It's much sweeter. There are red wines that are very dry, such as Chardonnay or Cabernet or Merlot. Merlot is one that I know from experience. It's very dry and strong in flavor and leaves a lingering taste. And then there is the white wine, which is Cupcake d'Asti. It's really sweet. I love pairing it with dessert. Other types of white wine would be Zinfandel or Arbor Mist is another good one. They have a white grape one or a peach. They also have a Stella Rosa white, which is white as well. Red wine has been praised for its health benefits, but white wine has benefits as well. We've discussed the history of wine, the process of making it, and how to choose a wine to your liking. Since wine goes back to hundreds of years, it's hard to know who invented it. There are plenty of stories of its origin. In short, wine is good. Salud.